Get the Friendo Club set up today and get access to over 700 Going in Raw bonus episodes, our monthly Big Blue predictions challenges, and the ability to ask questions at Going in Raw. We also offer the Steven Larson comic book and exclusive Friendo Club t-shirt. Just hit join here at youtube.com/Steven Larson or go to patreon.com/Steven Larson to sign up. Hey, friendos, Steve here.
Hey, Larson.
Welcome back to Going in Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to on a Friday night because we're back. They're back in the good old US of A. What better place to make your big USA return than Chi-Town, Chicago? Of course, CM Punk. A CM Punk heavy episode because, Larson, we finally found out on the road to WrestleMania what CM Punk's flavor is. Turns out,
Favor.
Barbecue. No, it's favor. That's what I was getting at. The favor.
Favor.
Yeah.
And it wasn't getting added to the main event of night 2.
I
mean, he said Seth and Roman were in his way.
No. We're not going to relitigate that one. What is the favor, Larson? What is the actual?
Oh, he wants Paul Heyman in his corner for the Mania match, the triple threat match. So you sent me a video clip that you found on Instagram of a bit between Punk and Paul Heyman years back, where Heyman says, one day I'm going to be there with you when you main event WrestleMania. And Punk referenced that moment tonight.
So shout out to Optimus Crime 3. Optima 5 Crime 3. So it's like Optimus Crime on Instagram for sending that my way.
Ah, there you go. Because that's what it was. And, Punk opens the show with a very long promo, saying, first, thank you to a lot of people. And 2, throughout his whole career, he's been told, you're not gonna last, essentially. And you're not supposed to be here because he says,
yeah, that's what his thesis was.
Yeah, he said he was born. He had the cord around his neck. His face was blue. They revived him, and he recounted several moments, throughout his career where he was told, you're not supposed to be here. Eventually, he is interrupted by Paul Heyman. And he comes to the ring, and Heyman's like, all right, what's the favor? I don't know what it is. You can just tell me. Let's get this over with.
He just wants it. And specifically, he wants it because Roman's not there yet.
Yes.
So he doesn't want Roman to be in the ring when this favor is revealed.
Yes. And so CM Punk says, oh, Roman's not here. All right, well, I'll tell you the favor once Roman shows up, so, make sure you tell me when he's here, and then we'll get this going. So Seth shows up during the show, tells Heyman, I'm here. I'm going to be in the ring when I hear this. So all 3 of them are in the ring, and gosh darn it, I'll tell you what, Seth was killing me throughout this whole thing.
Oh, he
laughing
at
Roman,
moment.
Saying, I told you so.
Yeah.
At certain points, even during this segment, it felt like Seth was being really shoehorned into a story that, in a lot of ways, feels like it should be between Punk and Roman.
Yeah.
And I still wonder if that would be the way to go, although I feel like Seth has something up his sleeve, because apparently he can control reality. But him laughing at Roman the whole time when Punk was starting to allude to what the favor was before he finally said it, because Seth picked up on it real quick.
Yeah, Seth knew. The thing is, Seth and the crowd can chant for Punk all they want. Seth knows he's in the right as it pertains to certain things, and one of them is the relationship that what CM Punk brings to the table and what it means to Roman. And it's not like Seth had any understanding of what this favor was. He just knew that Roman can sit there as arrogant as all get out, downplaying Seth's accomplishments over the past 12 years. And Seth knows, fine, you're going to find out the hard way. And he got that validation tonight. And he loved every single bit of it. Up into and through Roman Reigns getting hit with the GTS right there in Chicago.
Yeah.
This was awesome. You and I have not been huge on, because here's my thing, and I'm not going to bring this down because I thought the segment was great. I thought Smackdown was really good tonight.
Yeah, barring a segment or two.
But okay. Well, hey, if nothing else, that segment you're talking about gave us something to talk about.
You got that right.
But yeah, Seth loves every second of this, and yeah, and I think that what I was going to say is, along the way, I feel like we could have had segments like this that had been just as impactful. You love the twists and turns, you love the big mic drop moments, and this was kind of the sole mic drop moment that we get. Well, I guess last week with the, this isn't the favor. Great cliffhanger.
Yeah.
We could have had, I think, a couple more moments like that building up to this, but we're in the now. We're looking to the future. This was awesome. Loved this segment, and now the question is, how do you think this is going to affect this match over the next 2 weeks? Because we have next week's SmackDown and the next SmackDown.
Yeah.
We've got to go home, which might just be a video package. I don't know. Probably end up being like a pull apart brawl.
Yeah.
But next week, certainly you would think, at least from Paul Heyman's perspective, and probably, Seth is going to be on Raw, so we'll get to hear his reaction, and maybe Heyman will be there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Roman was not too. At first, he laughed off the idea that Heyman would even consider being in Punk's corner at WrestleMania. He says, "Let him down easy." And when Heyman didn't do that, and in fact started crying.
No, I can't do that, Tribal Chief.
And Roman says, "Wipe those tears and tell him no." And Heyman says, "No, I can't do that, my Tribal Chief."
He's so abusive, dude. Wipe those tears away and tell him no.
He says to Heyman, "I brought you back. I brought you back to relevancy." And Heyman said, "I made a promise. I did this to help you at War Games." So Roman's not going to be happy. Heyman's got himself in quite a situation here. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I want to know what let's talk about Seth being able to control reality, apparently, because he made a point of saying that. That was like punctuation to his promo on Roman. Does he got something up his sleeve between now and the match at Mania that's going to alter anything?
We have several people in our YouTube chat saying that Heyman's going to end up siding with Seth somehow, which I think would be great.
That'd be fantastic.
Because that means whoever Heyman's ultimately with wins the match, right?
I would think so.
I would kind of think that's going to be the situation. I feel like Heyman actually going with Punk would kind of be like a step backwards. And I feel like Roman having Heyman separated from him, adds some dimension, some interest, some intrigue. I don't know if Roman's going to be around after WrestleMania, but when he comes back, certainly there'll be some intrigue there. Seth and Heyman is a pair we haven't seen before, so I think that's a possibility. I don't know how they would justify it from a writing standpoint. But I mean, certainly Seth Rollins honestly deserves this win.
He does.
He deserves it. I don't think you or I think he has a chance at getting it.
Well, I mean, if there's a possibility where Paul Heyman looks at Punk and Roman and is like, "To heck with you guys. Seth's my dude now." That changes the math a bit.
Isn't that a big how? Okay, well then.
Here, let's go through because Seth and Heyman had a segment backstage, so let's try to parse this for any clues about whether that's the direction they're heading. So, Heyman's waiting for Roman to arrive at the arena. SUV pulls up. It's not Roman's. It's Seth's. He gets out. And he's laughing. He walks up to Heyman and says, "Come on, cheer up. Not happy to see me? You were expecting the other Shield guy, right?" He says, "God, you look horrible. I've seen you in a bad way. This is the worst I've seen you. You had a horrible week, but I had a great week. After I got away from all this, I got some perspective, and I formulated a plan. I was thinking, this favor thing, you really dug yourself into a hole with this one. But when Roman gets here, let me know. I want to be present to hear the favor. Talk to you later. It'll be all right."
Certainly sounds like he's reassuring Paul on something maybe that they had discussed previously.
There's a familiarity to this, isn't there?
There is. Yeah, there is. Boy, that'd be intriguing. You know, people can complain about the build to WrestleMania all they want, but there are some potential situations here that could be really, really fun. That could be really, really fun.
Yeah, I guess the issue with the Mania build is that level of intrigue isn't present, more readily throughout the matches.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think that. Wait. I'm sorry. Wait. What are you saying?
No, I said just a level of intrigue that we got, like with this story, maybe Cena, Cody, which is is the two main events. Even Rhea, Bianca, Io, just isn't there. Isn't common apart from those three matches, probably.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're probably right about that. I mean, there's still several matches left to be announced. One of them was announced tonight, which is awesome. Jade and Naomi.
There's actually 3 matches announced tonight.
We had Jade and Naomi.
Yeah.
One was taken off the table, too. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton.
Yeah. Motor City Machine Guns.
Oh,
We'll be
right.
facing Street Profits for the tag titles. And then Jacob Fatu is the number 1 contender for the U.S. title. He'll be facing LA Knight, at WrestleMania.
That was clean. That was a fun match, too. Yeah, that was good stuff.
Was.
All right, man. Oh, boy. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this first. Let's get some more positivity out of the way really quick, because I'm positive that the WrestleMania Predictions Challenge coming up is going to be the biggest one ever. This is very exciting because, speaking of CM Punk, we're in Chicago tonight. Not you and I, the show. Not this show, Smackdown.
We're here at home.
The CM Punk Signature Series official bootleg from Pakistan is going to be on the line. This thing is dangerous, and I'm not talking about metaphors here. I'm talking about literally it's dangerous. This right here, it's
very sharp. I gotta get some sandpaper or something over there to
and
dull those edges a little bit.
Thank the heavens for Cody Miles, who built into the predictions form a hold harmless agreement, and it's legally binding, allegedly. So this right here is the prize. Plus, there's hat. Oh, fuck.
You just can't touch the crown on top, man.
There's hat also, which I have created and have ordered.
It's like this
has
one,
been ordered,
but not this one. This one's mine.
Huh? No. Nobody can see it. It's
cropped out. Oh,
can you please produce it
right now?
Yes, please. Look at
this
that.
is my hat. This isn't the hat you'll win. This one belongs to me.
That one was from the Raw Netflix premiere, and Larson's the proud winner of that particular predictions challenge. So you could be just like Larson and be a proud winner. And let me see if I can get this. Let me see if I can get this hat. Here we go. Save image.
You got it.
All right. I'm going to see if I can put this hat on the screen. And the way you can participate in the Big Blue Predictions Challenge. I'm going to go and bring this over here. Oh, look at that hat right there. Friendo Mania Predictions Champion. There it is, and there it is. This is on the line along with CM Punk bootleg title.
Yeah.
All you got to do is click join right here at youtube.com/Stephen Larson, or go over to patreon.com/Stephen Larson. Click on the Friendo Club setup. Gets you the same stuff. It's the same amount of money. It's $5 a month. Get access to the Predictions Challenge. You get access to the question threads for the shows. And you get access to our old bonus episodes. Hopefully at some point we'll get around to doing more of those. So
yes,
be sure to participate, because we want to make this the biggest, the grandest Predictions Challenge ever. It's going down.
Ever. Hey, before
WrestleMania weekend. 3 shows.
Before we
Nights
continue,
1 and 2.
though.
Stand and deliver. What?
Want to wish a happy birthday to our champion, Maggie. It's Maggie's birthday. Happy birthday, Maggie.
Another year, once more, turning 21 years old. You love to see it. So I know that her little sister is dealing with some deadly lice right now. And I hope that she gets better for Maggie's birthday. So congratulations, our champion, Maggie. Now we're going to talk about something I know Maggie's dying for us to hear talk about.
Gosh.
Charlotte Flair's promo with Miss Tiffany Stratton. Larson, it's apropos because we're having stream issues now.
Oh dear.
Oh, I think we're coming back. I think it's coming back. Boy, oh boy. I can. This wasn't
Where to
good.
start? I mean, that's really the question.
This wasn't good. We'll start at the top. We'll start at the top.
All right.
I don't know. Yeah, we're really having stream issues right now.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I don't know whose idea this was. Well, I guess I do. Triple H, he's the guy in charge. The buck stops with him.
Ultimately, yeah.
And we're not there. We don't know. This feels like a go out there and see if Tiffany can sink or swim with Charlotte being Charlotte. Because you got Tiffany Stratton on one hand, who knows her lines.
Yeah.
Kinda. She has to pause in between every single one, fix her hair, walk away, and then come back and say the next line. She stumbles through some of them. And then you got Charlotte stepping all over her.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's selling for anybody.
No.
And the whole thing is awkward as hell.
It is.
I don't know what reaction or what they wanted out of the Charlotte Flair character when she came back. They presented her as, this yacht riding rich person, basically. I'm the queen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not exactly babyface stuff.
No.
And then they had Tiffany as a bad guy, which she was good at.
Mm-hmm.
And she's good in the ring, but she's not a very go with the flow person. I imagine most of the people coming out of the Performance Center aren't really go with the flow people because you need a lot of experience.
In terms of improvising out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is not a good fit. Seemingly, Charlotte didn't want to be there. Or she's being sent out there to do something that, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is.
Well,
but
let's go
nobody's selling for anybody.
No. Let's go back to their split screen interview, was it a week or two ago? That wasn't good either.
No. So why double down on it with them?
And it was a situation where Charlotte kind of dominated the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And going into this felt like, and how it was kind of, going about, felt like Tiffany's opportunity to respond.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what direction was given to either of them. I don't know if the crowd, because they were booing Charlotte heavily.
They were, yeah.
Kind of messed up the rhythm of what they were trying to do. I don't know, but this was awkward. It seemed like every time Tiffany had like a line that she was supposed to deliver, like Charlotte felt like she had to respond, and it often was stepping on Tiffany's lines. It felt like Tiffany was like, all right, I got to get my lines right.
Yeah, honestly, this felt like, that's not a good analogy. The entire thing was awkward. And when you have one person who's simply trying to remember what they're supposed to say, and the other person seemingly is going completely off script. And on top of that, they're bringing up shit that, I'm sorry, takes me the fuck out of the promo.
Yeah.
When you start talking about her personal life, when you start talking about her letting out some very real emotions on like a talk show segment. Because I saw this on Instagram. I saw a clip of it where she was talking about how hard it is to go through all the personal stuff she's gone through, both professionally and in her personal life with her divorce. Mm-hmm. And then like the good guy in this situation belittles that.
Yeah.
Like,
It's not good. It's not good.
I'm sorry. I understand Charlotte is presented a certain way, but like we all know she's a real human being. If you want to take the character of Charlotte Flair and present her a certain way, then like you got to separate the vulnerable person, the real person behind the character, and what they did in a public way, talking about their personal life, opening up.
Yeah.
You got to separate that from the character we see on screen.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was any time we probably could have used a more good guy, bad guy thing. And look, I'm never going to be hired by WWE to be a writer, but I'm throwing out one of these old cheesy Vince segments. It's Charlotte's birthday today.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. What if today she had a big, arrogant birthday celebration that was ruined by Tiffany Stratton, right? Yeah. Now, you and I probably be sitting here talking shit about it, but it wouldn't make me feel awkward as fuck watching this.
Yeah, this was super awkward. Yeah.
Whoever the shit thought this was a good idea should not be in this position to make these decisions, because this was fucking crap.
It was.
You got one person barely remember lines, another person intent on like no selling everything and stepping on it. And then you got them talking about like hella personal stuff. Nobody's landing any lines that actually work. Tiffany had some good lines and Charlotte steps over them. And then she tries a line and Tiffany no sells it.
Yeah.
I
guess from Tiffany's perspective, if she didn't have a lot of experience in terms of improvising, and she has her script, she's expected to stick to the script. Then if Charlotte's like throwing stuff at her, because so much of improvising and developing that skill is repetition, is doing it, to
establish comfortability.
Yeah. So you're comfortable in that situation. Well, if she's not comfortable in that situation, like what she has to fall back onto is, all right, what's my next line? And there was a part 2/3 of the way through it where she was trying to get her next line out, but Charlotte kept talking over.
I know.
And it's like there was no chemistry. There was no rhythm to it.
I know.
It didn't feel like a conversation. It felt like the verbal equivalent of Hogan Warrior at Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, I know. That's yeah.
Honestly, it's like there are two conversations that are not related.
It feels like shit. I'm gonna catch heat for this one. Sometimes what they do in AEW, where they don't really script things, they expect people to go out there and sell for each other. And honestly has not happened a lot recently. The biggest one is probably Ricky Starks and Edge. Mm-hmm. When it's like, okay, you guys aren't even selling for each other right now. I mean, there was the Hangman Punk one, obviously, that derailed Punk's entire AEW existence. But it's such a bummer to me. And I don't know, you can blame Charlotte, you can blame Tiffany, you can blame the producer. Ultimately, it lays at the feet of Triple H. This was a failure of a segment. This was
and here's the thing. This is a failure of a segment that is part of a story that has been not good from day one.
Yeah.
And the hope would be, all right, they recognize that this ain't working.
Yeah.
All right, let's find a thing that maximizes and showcases the strength of both of our performers in this instance.
It felt like, I always suspected, and you can go back and you can find some evidence to support this, because you and I have talked about this over the years. Sometimes I feel like Triple H, both when he was involved in stuff and as a creative person, has kind of a sink or swim thing. Remember the one thing that always stood out to us at WrestleMania 32?
Yeah.
Was he's supposed to be the bad guy, Roman, the authority guy.
Triple H is out there crotch chopping.
He's out there doing a bunch of babyface stuff, trying to curry favor with the crowd. I feel like it was to force Roman to step up.
Could be.
They use Cena for that. Mm-hmm. I mean, again, the most
like
popular
Baron Corbin.
one
Yeah, Baron Corbin.
is Baron Corbin 1,000%, but also Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. That horrible 2017. That was awkward as hell. But Cena wasn't stepping on Roman.
No.
Roman was just lost.
Yeah.
And Cena was cooking the shit out. Roman had nothing to come back with. And he was forgetting his lines. That's why it kind of reminded me of that. But Charlotte was just shooting her in the feet. And it's like, man, you're the veteran in this situation. Yeah. And maybe the fact that they were going, I don't know, man. I'm not there. I don't know what people are thinking. I don't know what people are feeling. But this was a gnarly segment.
It really was. Whether it's a situation, again, we're not there. We don't know people's feelings or sentiments about the creative they're involved in. But it's got to be disheartening when you're involved in something and you realize this ain't working. Mm-hmm. And it's not an excuse for compounding the issue, which I doubt Charlotte was trying to do. And I don't know if she was trying to get Tiffany to step up, if she was trying to throw some spontaneity into it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, Charlotte is known for, just two off the top of my head. Her and Nia shooting on each other in the ring. Her and Becky in that title swap situation thing.
Yeah.
Charlotte is such a phenomenal performer, and maybe it stands out because I don't know of any other women who have ever done that. And dudes, plenty of them have done it.
Oh yeah.
And it's sort of Ronda Rousey has talked about how Charlotte, flipped the script on her match with Rhea Ripley and went longer than they were supposed to go. And that's a positive use of that stroke.
Yes.
This might have been a negative use of that particular stroke.
Because this is a story, again, that's been getting some criticism. This segment is not going to alleviate any of that. If anything, it's going to amplify it.
Honestly, dude, I feel like Tiffany probably needed somebody else to feud with over the title, and give Charlotte, Io, Bianca away from the title. Somebody else, somebody that she's excited to work with. Dude, how many times have dudes been like, I don't want to work with this guy, I want to work with this guy?
Yeah.
And they get it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know what's going on back there. But this was not a good look for anybody.
No.
And they need to, you know what? From here on out, just do some video packages. How about that? Just do
the one week it worked is where they had that pull apart and Tiffany did
do
the
two more of those.
The Tron. Yeah. Yeah. No, do one more of that and then do a video package.
Yeah, because they just need to get this match done. Who do you think wins this match? It's closer to a toss-up now, isn't it, than we originally thought?
When it was booked, I was like, oh, they're going to have this match. Tiffany's going to win. They're really going to start putting her over as champion. If this is supposed to be a sink or swim situation for Tiffany, I don't know at this point then.
It could also be, because Triple H, I feel, is kind of a stick-to-his-guns guy. I kind of feel like she'll get through it. She'll probably win the match. Maybe that's one reason why Charlotte ain't complying. I don't know. I don't know. I hate to, I just saw her today crying about her personal life. And that's difficult stuff. It really is.
It really is. Yeah.
But yeah, this was a gnarly segment. We got a super chat here from EDR saying, replace Punk with Ambrose and make a few changes. This is how Triple H would write the Shield triple threat. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
Dan Daniel says Seth pinning Punk in his first Mania main event should be the move. Oof.
That'd be great.
Oof. How about Seth stacking Roman and Seth? I'm sorry, Roman and Punk.
Seth can't control reality apparently, so it seems plausible that he could stack himself,
be taking that.
Punk and Roman.
Yeah.
While doing the pin as well.
I like the imagination here that you're showing. Maybe you're taking that too literally, not metaphorically enough. Be kind of cool though. All of a sudden, there's three Siths like Seth.
Oh, he loses the match. He rewinds time.
Drew Lytle says, since Orton is open now, do Phoenix versus Orton for WrestleMania.
Well, let's talk about that. So there was word that got out earlier today. I think it was from PWN that Kevin Owens was hurt and there wasn't a timetable for his return. So he comes to the ring where Nick Aldis introduces him and says, this is essentially the rough part of wrestling. Kevin Owens comes to the ring, says he's got a neck injury he's been dealing with for the last 4 months. They finally figured out what's wrong. However, he has to have surgery. He's going to be out for a while. Therefore, as Aldis told him, that means Mania match is off. Orton comes out. Owens leaves. They have a moment there. And so Aldis says, that, of course, means that you have no Mania match. Orton's not happy about it. He hits Aldis with an RKO. And so in my mind, I'm instantly like, yes, get Nick Aldis in the ring. Let him have a Mania match against Orton. That would be amazing.
I love the event. Boy, they would never do that, but that'd be great. That'd be terrific.
Well, then who's Orton's opponent? Alistair?
Not Nick Aldis, my friend.
Rusev?
Is there any scenario where they can justify Sami Zayn? I don't know how. I'm just trying to think of names that bizarrely aren't on WrestleMania card or aren't on the WrestleMania card. Because I honestly just don't know.
I mean, I'm sure they could, so it's a television show. They can write it however they want.
Carmelo Hayes hanging out with the Miz these days, doing a whole lot of nothing.
Have him face Orton at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I know.
And win.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, I don't know.
I got pumped about. I know it's not going to happen, but the idea of Aldis being like, I don't appreciate you hitting me with that RKO, Randall Keith Orton. And as you may be aware, I used to be a bit of a wrestler myself.
I used to be a wrestler myself.
And in fact, I'm going retro and putting the tights back on. I challenge you to a match at WrestleMania.
At Retromania. Yeah, I don't know, man. Boy. Because I'm trying to think of, like, bad guys out there. You got Jacob already with LA Knight.
Yeah.
Braun's a good guy. Solo Sikoa. Nobody wants to see that.
No, it's got to be. It's either Aldis or it's a situation. It's not going to be Aldis, but I want to put that out there in the universe to make it happen.
Hey, Aldis is your Finn Balor. I love it. Roll with it.
Or Aldis says, I got a surprise opponent for you at WrestleMania, and it's Alistair. Probably Alistair, I would guess.
Oh, okay. And Alistair wins that match?
Yeah.
Bring back Keith Lee. Have them reignite that feud.
I don't know how much longer Keith has on his AEW deal, but
probably a lot of time. I am gonna. You know what, man? When's your birthday? I'm gonna find you and Nick Aldis shirt. That's what I'm gonna do. Let's see.
If you can find a Retromania shirt,
I'm sure we could probably email them and get one.
That could be.
My goodness. Anyways, go ahead and dive into it. Now we've been doing this for a while. So we already talked a lot about the CM Punk stuff.
Yeah.
So we don't really need to reiterate that. Let's see here. Rey Fenix had his debut.
Yeah.
Against Nathan Frazier. I was excited to see Nathan Frazier in the ring, and I was very disappointed in the Chicago crowd not giving Nathan Frazier enough credit because he's terrific.
He's fantastic. Yeah, what an inspired choice for Rey Fenix's first opponent in WWE. Nathan Frazier, fantastic wrestler, super fast. Yeah. They had themselves a really good match. Phoenix got a good pop.
Mm-hmm.
How much time do you think Triple H spent on Rey Fenix's entrance?
Not very much, because it was not very good. It was kind of lazy, to be honest with you. Like, there was, like, when he shows up, you know, I always get a kick out of when Cody just appears.
Yeah.
I still have no idea how there's like a bunch of smoke, and then they shoot the pyro, and he's just there. It's like, oh my God.
Well, he's standing behind the smoke. They start the smoke. He stands there, and when they hit the pyro, they stop the smoke, and he's there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But it's not like magic. I just explained to you how it works.
I don't know how they do that. It's insane. I'm pretty sure there's mirrors involved. This was like, even Penta's got the cool spinny wheel thing.
He did.
And here's the thing. There's like, you need some cool framing. I know they got just some dude with a steady cam or whatever, but like, you know, you got the guy right here, and like this guy just sort of like wandered.
Yeah. Maybe it's a work in progress, because it seems like this might have, all kind of fell into the place pretty quickly after.
They got an intern to produce this one. Man.
Phoenix was released, maybe.
This was not good. His music is fine. It's generic shit.
Yeah.
I was like, did they use Pentagons? I can't even tell, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So he gets the win with a muscle buster. Afterwards, he has an interview. He says, I got a lot of history in Chicago. Tonight is not the debut of Rey Fenix. Tonight is so much more. Tonight I am rewarded with love and with passion. I waited my whole life to say this. I am WWE.
I am WWE. Yeah, I loved it. It was crazy, too, because he was like, I told Conan. I told him I'd be here. And it blew up in my face. But now I'm here.
But now he's there.
I was like, wow, you're getting pretty deep here. You see Chris Van Vliet there in the crowd?
No, I missed him.
What?
I missed him.
Bro, as soon as they showed commentary, right behind commentary, Brock Lesnar guy standing next to Chris Van Vliet.
Wow, I saw a Brock Lesnar guy there.
Van Vliet was next to him. Are we going to get a CM Punk Van Vliet interview?
Oh, maybe.
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 Or, hey, a Brock Lesnar guy Van Vliet interview. Good to see Brock Lesnar guy get good seats because, like, a couple months ago, he was complaining about how he got priced out of good seats. I don't know how he got these ones.
Those tickets are super expensive, man.
Super expensive. Man, I'll be honest. That bit where Ray Phoenix dropped Nathan Frazier right on his head, I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, the fire driver, yeah.
That was good. Did he do that in AEW? He had to have, right? I just wasn't paying attention.
I feel like he changed it up here because here he did it to the side, like on his hip. Whereas I feel like before it was more like a typical pile driver, but I could be mistaken. My memory's garbage.
Crazy. Yeah, that was nuts. Yeah,
so after Phoenix gets the win and is interviewed by Byron, we go backstage. Legato's watching.
I loved this.
Yeah.
I loved this.
And Santos is really putting over Ray Phoenix. And Berto's like, flash in the pan. I'm better than he is. And Santos is like, I like it, but you need to show me. I'm going Nick Aldis. You get a match against Ray Phoenix next week.
Yeah, man. Berto was showing some personality here, man.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. But, the problem, of course, is, number one, it's not a tag team match, so we're not going to see the Los Garza's finisher. Number two, he ain't going to win this, so even if it was a tag team match, we wouldn't see Los Garza's finisher.
At this point, even if it was 2-on-1, Los Garza versus Ray Phoenix, you would still not see Los Garza's finisher.
Fuck.
You know I'm right.
And then Montez, he fucking stuck the landing last time.
Yeah.
When they tried to do it from the corner, from the second turnbuckle.
Second right. Yep.
Oh, man. We're not going to.
No, there's a lot. It's super awkward. There's a lot of crap talk, and a lot of it didn't need to be involved in the segment.
Yeah, we talked about that too much already.
Super awkward. Yeah. And then, we mentioned Kevin Owens coming and saying that he's got to have neck surgery. He's missing WrestleMania. He says it really sucks. He's really earnest, and like I said at the beginning, it seemed like the crowd was waiting for a swerve because it wasn't like they were, doing the thank you KO type stuff, I was like, oh, and then Orton came down. I was like, oh, that's still gonna happen, and then you had to break the news to me. Yeah, I didn't get on, so I don't know. I'm on like Blue Sky doesn't break news. It's just people whining about Trump. They have good reason. I'm one of them. Tons of good reasons. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really see a lot of breaking news there. I really need to put Twitter back on.
Well, you mean wrestling news?
Wrestling news, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a source for wrestling news. No,
not really. Then we had, of course, a fun match here: Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu.
But first, we had LA Knight versus Tama Tonga.
Oh, that's right. So we had a replay of the U.S. title match from last week. Braun's backstage with Byron. He says, I've had enough of Jacob sticking his nose in my business, and I show him why they call me the monster when I saw him in the last match standing and take that U.S. title to complete my grand slam. And then Solo walks up laughing. Last man standing? Braun, you're finished. You got to go out there and face Jacob. And LA Knight comes in. Yeah. Don't waste your energy on this pumpkin head with bacon lips about to stuff nothing. You got nothing. Yeah. You get your boys in order and keep your eyes on the prize. Basically saying, Braun, worry about my U.S. title, but make sure you get to that. And then Tama Tonga says, no, I'm sorry. Tama Tonga's like, nah. He says, Knight, you got a lot of balls to come here and talk to me that. Knight says, yeah, I've got huge testicles, gargantuan. Don't worry about my balls. And then he says, you should be worried about, Knight says, if you want to make noise, make noise. You're about to go, when I stomp you out. He just walks away from him and starts talking to the camera. Yeah. So let's get a referee and remind everybody whose game this is. He comes out. They have a match. Despite Solo Sikoa cartoonishly trying to interfere in this, doesn't quite work. LA Knight's able to get Billionaire Finger Trap to get the win on Tama Tonga.
Yep. And so then LA Knight gets out of the ring before Solo can get in and attack him. So then we had the last man standing match, Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman. This match was tons of fun, went all over the place.
This was a blast.
They broke a couple tables up by the crowd. They went through the barricade. In the end, though, so after the suplex spot through the tables, they kind of stumble back towards ringside. Braun's limping around, gets in the ring. Earlier in the match, there was a table set up by Braun in the corner. So Braun stumbles, gets to his feet, and Jacob runs in and hits a hip attack that sends Braun through the table. Ref starts counting to 10. Jacob gets up right at 9. Braun can't get up in time. Jacob gets the win. He'll be facing LA Knight, at WrestleMania.
And God, I hope Solo Sikoa costs Jacob that match. I really do, man.
You're lying.
I got a renewed interest in LA Knight, man. The guy's over. Ever since somebody put it in my head, one of the friendos, you can blame them. One of the friendos put in my head that LA Knight should be in the Jey Uso spot, contending for that world title. I'm like, yeah, he should.
Yeah.
He should be.
Yeah.
And then you got Jey Uso in this spot against Jacob. I mean, there's a lot of rewriting history here, but that makes sense. Bloodline stuff.
It is bloodline stuff, yeah.
You know?
You just want to see LA Knight be like Teflon when Gunther tries to talk crap, don't you?
Oh, that too? Yeah, absolutely. You know?
Yeah.
Be like, juvenile and vulgar to him. That'd be great.
Yeah. So we had a number one contenders match for the tag team championships on SmackDown. Street Profits, the champions, come sit ringside. It's Motor City Machine Guns taking on DIY. Thank you, Steve. DIY tried to cheat. Or tried to bend the rules at least because turnbuckle cover got removed, and so it exposed turnbuckle. That ended up costing DIY because Ciampa charges in towards Chris Sabin, but runs into the exposed buckle. And then Sabin rolls him up to get the W. Motor City Machine Guns, number one contenders for those WWE Tag Team Championships. What odds do you give Motor City Machine Guns to beat Street Profits so that Motor City Machine Guns become next Tag Team Champions?
0.
Yeah, there's basically no chance Motor City Machine Guns become tag team
I did
champions.
appreciate this, though.
What?
After this match, Motor City Machine Guns went over to Street Profits, and he was like the most aggressive thising the fucking thing. Wisconsin.
The state of Michigan.
State of Michigan.
Do you say Wisconsin?
I got Wisconsin on my mind, yeah.
Why do you have Wisconsin on your mind?
Because I was listening to a podcast about the state Supreme Court, Supreme Court thing.
Yeah.
They got Michigan. Yeah.
Michigan.
He was doing the Michigan thing really aggressively towards him. I get mad at somebody next time and be like, and they're like, what is that? Be like, it's Wisconsin.
Like, it looks like Michigan. Wisconsin looks nothing like that.
How do you do California with your hand?
I don't know if you can. Can you do? I mean, maybe you can do other states, but Michigan.
Looks like a hand. Looks like an oven mitt.
Yeah. So Motor City Machine Guns, they're going to WrestleMania. We're going to find out next week who is going to challenge Liv and Raquel for the women's tag titles because Nick Aldis has a promo backstage saying he and Adam Pearce had a conversation. Next week on SmackDown, Gauntlet match with, gosh, they showed the graphic. Were there 6 teams, 8 teams, 7 teams? There's a lot of teams.
They got a bunch of teams.
A lot of teams. Gauntlet match. Winner will face women tag champs at WrestleMania. B-Fab had a match against Naomi, and during Naomi's entrance, after B-Fab already made hers, Jade attacks Naomi. Jade takes out security. The match still happens. Naomi gets the win. She's got a new finisher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, it is. It is.
It's cool. Like a lung blower, but she has wrist control through it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. Yeah. So she had gotten attacked during the entrance, and then afterwards, she calls out Jade. She's like, "Where are you?" And Jade shows up.
Pump kicks.
Puts the boots to her. So Nick Aldis, Naomi goes running up the ramp. Nick Aldis comes out and says, "I've got some news for you. This can only be settled in one way, at WrestleMania." And I was very excited about that because I was kind of worried that he was going to say, "At WrestleMania Smackdown."
I know.
But no, it's making the card, man. That's awesome.
Great. That's great.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Mello Don't Miz doesn't look like they would be making the WrestleMania card. Carmelo Hayes should totally have a match at WrestleMania. So Mello and Miz, they bump into Pretty Deadly. There's just a bunch of crap talk. The Pretty Deadly tossed crap about the Marine series of movies. Miz starts reading from his resume about all his accomplishments, asks them how many titles they've won. He said he's been a 9-time tag champ. And then so Pretty Deadly's like, well, how many partners have you had in those 9 reigns? and says, they said to Mello, "Are you happy being relegated to Miz?" That's a soccer term, is it not?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because when you're in the
Premier
Premier
League.
League and you don't do well enough, you get sent down to the league.
I love
below
that.
it.
They should really. I mean, I don't know if they could do that, but in the NBA, it'd be amazing. Or even
You get sent down to the G League.
The G League, yeah. Like,
Well, that doesn't really work because that's kind of like a developmental league for the NBA. For the most
yeah, I
part.
know it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. The Premier League's been doing this probably, I think, from like, I don't know, the 1400s or some shit.
For a long time. Yeah.
They've been doing it for a very, very
Yeah.
long time. They have a very distinct system in place.
Yeah. So then Miz says we're Mellow don't Miz. You know why? Because we're awesome.
I'll be honest with you, the puns and whatnot, they really do work. Like Mellow don't Miz, Mellow don't Mit, like that works. That's
It
really
does.
good.
I kind of feel like I delivered the him better than Miz did, though.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, him. Yeah. Mello should win at the very least this year the bout of the Andre, right? Got to give him that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on the WrestleMania SmackDown, I imagine.
Eliminate Miz.
So right now we've got 9 matches for WrestleMania,
All right.
including Jade versus Naomi, women's tag, LA Knight Jacob, AJ Styles Logan, Io Sky Bianca Belair, Gunther Jay, Tiffany Stratton Charlotte Flair, Cody John, Roman Punk Rollins.
Is there any other matches kind of...
So it doesn't have the men's tag match. That's not updated on Wikipedia yet.
Oh, the SmackDown one?
So we're gonna add, that's match number 10. Probably be 4 more matches, right? The Intercontinental is definitely gonna be on there.
Yeah.
New Day is gonna get their Raw tag title shot
Yeah,
against War
that's at
Raiders
least
there.
2 more there, yeah. Yeah, so it could be 12. Be 6 and 6.
You think so?
Could be.
That could be.
Could
that
be.
could be.
Oh, of the teams, let's go back to the women's tag titles.
Oh, wait a second.
What?
Drew versus
Damian Priest.
Damian not official yet?
Yeah, it is.
Isn't
They
it?
talked about WrestleMania. Did Priest talk about WrestleMania tonight?
Bro, they just talked about their history. They probably did.
No, he says this, the punctuation for Priest
Oh, okay. Yeah.
was, "I want you to stop playing the victim, become my victim at WrestleMania."
Jeez, Wikipedia, get your shit together.
Well, update it yourself. You have the power to do that.
I ain't touching that shit, man.
Control reality and update Wikipedia, Steve.
And it'll probably be taken down, and then I'll be like made to look a fool.
Well, it's not like they know you did it.
I'd rather start my own Wikipedia entry.
About you?
Yeah, sure.
List your height as taller than Solo Sikoa.
Yeah. I
See,
think it's a
that
good
was
idea.
up there for a little bit.
What do you think of Drew McIntyre's eye patch? Pretty sexy, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Makes him look even
yeah.
cooler.
Oh, yeah.
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 He should wrestle with that.
He might, because I guess he really did get some stuff in his eye.
Oh, like some real glass?
Glass. Yeah.
Wow. That's why you shouldn't use real glass?
I know the irony of that, huh?
Right?
Taking that picture with Jack Perry.
Man, how great was it also to see another Triple H Hall of Fame video package, this time centering around the most important faction of all time, Evolution.
So, we talked about the number of Triple H video packages. Other people mentioned that, like, I think they said Undertaker and a couple other, really high-profile Hall of Fame inductees got video packages. But the question I have, were they weekly and were they unique every week?
Probably.
But I don't remember.
That's my answer, probably. I don't remember either, but we've well established that we're old and forgetful. So what are you going to look up? What are you typing in right now?
Undertaker W Hall of Fame video packages. I see one that's 4 minutes long.
That sounds like a normal length. Yeah,
Let's
I don't
see.
recall them doing various topics, but then that was a while ago. That was like, 2 years ago?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Man, I can barely remember what happened last week.
It's true. It's true. Anyways, you want to answer some questions?
Yeah, let's go ahead and answer some questions. Apologies, by the way, to the people who enjoy watching us live on a Friday night. We like doing that too.
Yeah, that's our preferred way of doing the show.
For about 10 minutes, my internet, like my upload stopped being like anything that you could do in a live stream on.
Yeah.
And then it went back to being normal, but the stream was already dead. So
yeah,
sorry, everybody.
The quality of your
Sorry,
internet
guys.
was just good enough for us to record a show.
Yeah, I know. And it freaking makes me mad. Anyways.
Oh,
Post,
wow.
Where is
Let's
the...
start off with this question from Mr. Milkshake. What would a Seth Milchek style performance review look like for Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis? Wow.
It would be, because even Milchick's was really like it was a huge binder, and there was only 3 infractions, and 2 of them were quite minor. So they'd be massive. They'd be absolutely massive.
Yeah, the file would be, I don't know, a good 4.5 inches thick.
Boy, not only do we not have the live stream work properly, but I didn't put up a question thread for the YouTube either.
Oh,
So
well, we got some
apologies.
here on the Patreon.
Apologies, everybody.
Streetwise Hercules here says, hot take. I've been going back and watching old Nitros, and I got to say, you guys are wrong.
Wow.
Goldberg was the man. I don't want to see him on my TV now, but I'd forgotten how awesome he was back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I missed the 90s when I still had hopes and dreams. Steve, you stick up for 90s Bill Goldberg.
Objectively, he was massively popular.
He was massively popular. I can't dispute that.
We've never disputed that. Now, if you're talking about the subjective nature of like, oh, was he like, did we think he was cool? I don't know. I kind of like Goldberg back then, I guess. I thought that his, man, I'm a big fan of like when they like big matches. And like the Hogan Goldberg match, it felt big. It was like, oh, wow, a guy that Hogan's fine jobbing to. That means he's a big deal.
Yeah.
Fell off really quickly after that, though. They didn't know what to do with him.
Mm-mm.
But the streak was cool. The streak, watching week to week was like, oh, they're building this guy up. And I think the guy
was successful.
He had charisma. He had that thing that you look at on the camera and it's like, oh, shit. That being said, even like a doofus like me back then in 1997, 98, understood this guy couldn't wrestle a lick and he seemed dangerous.
Yeah.
So
And he wasn't much of a promo back then either.
No. Although when he said who's next for the first time, that was actually cool. That was. Come on.
Diesel here says, how does Roman get over his fear of people leaving him and his need to control everyone?
Brother, this should open up a whole can of worms. The next vignette we should see after WrestleMania is him in therapy.
Jimmy Thomas says, rank these Charlotte moments, tonight's segment, the title swap with Becky, and the Nia shoot fight.
Wow. Tonight was unwatchable. The other 2 were awesome. Like, the title swap was hilarious. Well, number 1 is Nia and Charlotte.
Yeah.
Because 2 people just throwing on each other is hilarious. The title swap was funny because it was relatively quick. And you just look at Sonya Deville and she's like, you're children.
The pettiness level of that segment was off the charts.
Yeah, this was just, this is ranked the lowest because this is just hard to watch.
It was hard to watch. And as awkward as the segment was tonight, the segment, the title swap segment was hella awkward too.
It was, but it was quicker, much
hella
quicker.
awkward. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was super awkward.
It was super awkward. Dog Authority Figure here asks, what matches or segments from Steven Larson, Book Raw, Fun Wrestling, other gaming content would be inducted into the Hall of Fame? Oh, it's Butch Bacon beating Top Notch.
Yeah.
Ice Cream Man winning the Stomping Ground Shoot Fight tournament.
Honestly, when Growth Hormone defeated Minoru Suzuki.
Oh, gosh, that just ruined everything.
Boy.
That ruined everything.
I had no idea that function even existed, and I had to use it.
Alex Foster asks here, do you guys think Jacob might be done with the whole bloodline soon? He seems more annoyed with both Solo and Tama rather than just one of them.
Yep, I think he will be.
Sebastian asks, how successful should Penta and Rey Fenix's solo runs be before they team? Should they win singles gold? Yeah.
Yeah, Penta should. Well, no, not at WrestleMania. Pentagon should probably beat Jey Uso for the world title.
All right.
Not the Intercontinental Championship. That belongs to Finn. Yeah.
Gamer Realm says, will we see a feud between New Day and Lucha Brothers?
That'd be pretty awesome.
I would expect so.
That'd be pretty great.
Ryan here has a 2-part question. What's your favorite Kevin Owens match, and who do you guys think Randy faces at Mania to answer the second part? Nick Aldis.
Answer the first part, Ladder War.
Yeah, Ladder War with El Generico, right?
Yes.
Kelmiko asks, is the Tiffany Charlotte feud a case of swink or swim gone wrong? Kelmiko says, I love both, but I feel like it's done nothing but shine light on Tiffany's inexperience.
Yeah, it's made her look bad. And it hasn't made Charlotte look good either.
No. And Josh M. here says, was the Charlotte Tiffany promo segment the most awkward you have seen? No.
In the Levesque era, it has been.
Probably.
I think in the Triple H era, it has been. Yeah. Ever? No.
No.
I don't think so.
Like Bailey, this is your life. That was so awkward.
Yeah, this would have been. Let me ask you something. Would this have been better or worse with like a dead crowd?
Oh, if it was. Oh, it'd been worse because I think the crowd might have tried to take over the segment more so than they did.
Well, they kind of did though with all the booing.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like the booing was playing into what they were trying to do in the ring.
Oh, you think so?
I think so. I mean, they were interacting with the performers in the ring in terms of booing the heel, you know.
Yeah.
But in terms of like starting random chants and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. So before we conclude the show today, I got, man, we've been signing up a lot of friendos on the Patreon here, the channel memberships. And so I thought it'd be a great idea for us to shout out the names for these new friendos. And then I thought what a better idea would be instead of us, because like everybody's, they get us all the time. Why don't I bring in a special guest?
Who?
Oh, man, you're going to love this. We saw another little vignette today. It's, of course, Aleister Black. Let's bring him on in. All right, that's not the right one. Hold on. Oh, here we go.
Hello. Hi. This is Aleister Black. Have you enjoyed my vignettes on WWE Smackdown?
Yeah. They've been well put together.
They've been very mysterious. Lots of smoke.
It's pretty clear it's going to be.
You know what is crazy to me is I don't know how they do the Cody Rhodes entrance, but I want the Cody Rhodes entrance for when I come back. So now I'm going to read names.
Yes, read names, please.
Keith MC, Zach Avery, Jake Carousel, L. Husk, Daniel Donaldson, George Hallman, Stony Money, Corey Adam Chandler, 2005 Batista with the turtleneck, sits with a beer, Josh, Tom Aldworth, Ken Adams Business Firm. Also on that was on the Patreon. Now I'm going to do the YouTube as well.
Yes, thank you.
Don't Interrupt, Chris Rowden, Corey Harper, B Manzilla, Ash Bilal, Ale, Jay Sincere White, It's a John Day, Ben, Dehumanized.
Can I interrupt you for a moment?
No, Matt.
Can you say it's a John Day again, please?
It's a John Day.
Thank you.
So if we can try to figure out how Cody Rhodes just appears out of nowhere.
All right, I'll look into that for you.
Perhaps they use mirrors.
I don't think so.
I think they use mirrors and maybe black magic. No, Aleister Black Magic.
It's just some pyro and some smoke. That's all it is.
It's only smoke and mirrors.
All right.
Your Aleister's getting a little Christopher Walken influence there, Steve.
My Aleister?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, my Aleister?
Hey, can you say John for me?
Sure.
John.
What? What?
He sounded just like
name.
Aleister.
You wanted me to say the name? I said the name.
Yeah, he sounded just like Aleister when he said it.
No, that's just a normal way of saying
John.
Not at all. No one says John except for Aleister.
You just did.
Because I was doing an Aleister impersonation.
No, how's how you say John?
No, I say John.
John.
See, that was weird.
No, what you're doing is weird.
No, you're weird.
You're weird.
All right. Anyways, that's going to do
Calling
it for
me weird. You're weird.
That's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Yes, we
Till
do.
next time. We'll see
Hold
you
on.
around.
Thank you, everybody, for the joining the Patreon, joining the YouTube channel
Oh,
membership.
yeah. Thank you very much
Getting
for
the Friendo
that.
Club set up. Thank you so much. And thank you,
great.
Alistair.
Oh,
reading
thank
the
you,
names
Alistair
off.
Black, for showing up at the tail end of the show today. Everybody's very much looking forward to you being on Smackdown. Maybe maybe it's a year from now, we'll be talking about this epic feud between Alistair Black and John Gargano.
Goodbye, everybody.